Hello viewers, I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India's startup revolution is rewriting its destiny, where dorms rooms double as boardrooms and village dreams fuel global visions. Powered by tech, talent and fearless ambition, the nation is rising as a vibrant cradle of next-gen innovation and enterprise. Let's explore how this revolution is reshaping India's vision for future growth.
India's startup ecosystem is thriving, fueled by supportive policies, ample funding, and a growing market for innovation. A standout example is Gurugram-based Static, founded in 2019 by Raghav Arora and Akshat Bansal to tackle a key hurdle in the EV revolution, charging infrastructure. What started as a tech-first idea grew into a full-stack operation, building chargers, setting up networks, and integrating them into a mobile app. With over 8,000 stations and a 22% market share, Static shows how young entrepreneurs are driving sustainable growth through innovation and agility.
It was not an easy journey for us because it was a very nascent market, starting from something and then realizing that's not working, using tech to solve it, and then doing something else. Then we found out what's working and then we capitalized on it. We scaled that part of our business, and today we are by far the largest charging network in the country.
India's startup journey from follower to global innovation hub is truly remarkable. With over 1.17 lakh startups, 110 plus unicorns, and 1 million plus jobs, the momentum is clear. But beyond numbers, it is the ground level energy, policy, push, and entrepreneurial drive powering this transformation. India Partners is an early stage venture capital firm backing innovative Indian startups.
We are the third largest startup ecosystem. All of us know that in terms of number of startups, number of DPIIT registered or recognized startups, quantum of capital, number of unicorns, jobs created, revenues, contribution to GDP, all the metrics, health metrics that are associated with startup ecosystem, I think are trending well in our kind of favor. But India's march to 4-5 trillion to the 10 trillion and eventually Vikasit Bharat, 2047, a lot of it is going to be driven by startups.
Government initiatives like Startup India, SIDBI's fund of funds, and new missions in AI, semiconductors, and biotech are fueling real innovation. Today, Indian startups are not just solving for India, they are scaling across Southeast Asia, Africa, and beyond.
Since this investment of the government through various entities like SIDBI and also creating the ecosystem from a taxation perspective or from just a policy perspective, creating incubators, accelerators, are not in AI only, it's in many, many fields, including hardware. India has always been a software nation. So now we are seeing that the investment that's come into hardware in many areas is really helping manufacturing, helping companies that are doing value addition, not just for the domestic market but for the export market also.
Just a decade ago, India's startup scene was minimal. Today, it's buzzing with incubators, accelerators, and a young, ambitious population. Fueled by a massive domestic market and global investment, startups are scaling globally, solving real-world problems with speed and precision.
Startup is always going to be about hustle. You have to keep at it to get to wherever you want to, right? To whatever heights you want to achieve. But I just want to talk about two values that Porter strongly believes in, and I personally feel that that has taken us this far. One is being user obsessed. So know your user and solve for their problems. That really helps you. Basically understand your user, solve for their problems. That really helps you to have more of a solution-oriented approach in solving for any problems.
I think there can't be any better time than this for at least Indian startups, I think. 10 years back, 15 years back, the startup ecosystem is completely absent. Today, I think if the team is good, if the idea is good, money is not a problem at all, the ecosystem is well developed, I think probably the best part for anyone to be alive today is being an entrepreneur, to be in this part of in this decade actually. I think very strong positive tailwinds for startups, yeah. Whether it's healthcare, whether it is non-healthcare, I think it's the best time to start up.
What started as a small movement in metros has evolved into a nationwide innovation powerhouse. From AI tools to EV apps like Static, Indian startups are redefining industries and boosting India's global reputation. As India moves toward its developed India vision by 2047, startups will drive jobs, inclusive tech, and reshape the nation's economic future.
A long march in Toronto called for justice, with protesters demanding the immediate release of Dr. Mahrang Baloch and other detained Baloch activists. The rally highlighted the ongoing human rights abuses in Balochistan, including enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings. Demonstrators urged the international community, particularly in Canada, to hold Pakistan accountable.
For decades, the Baloch people have raised their voices against enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killings, and systemic oppression in Pakistan Balochistan province. The movement for justice has gained global support as reports of human rights violation continue to surface. In a powerful display of solidarity, the Baloch Human Rights Council of Canada organized a long march in Toronto. The rally was held in support of Dr. Mahrang Baloch and other Baloch activists who have been unlawfully detained by Pakistani authorities. The protesters called for the immediate release of all detained activists and urged the international community to hold Pakistan accountable for its actions in Balochistan.
We were gathered here today to express our concern on the arrest and imprisonment of a human rights defender, Dr. Mahrang Baloch, who is a big voice in Balochistan for the enforced disappearances, against the enforced disappearances and the atrocities committed by the state of Pakistan in Balochistan. She has been imprisoned when she was protesting outside the hospital where the bodies of many people were brought over there, dead people, and the families were concerned that they belong to the enforced disappeared people who are being tortured and executed.
With banners, placards and chants calling for freedom and justice, the demonstrators aim to shed light on what they describe as the ongoing persecution of Baloch voices by the Pakistani state.
Our arrest is not a just attack on Dr. Mahrang Baloch. This is an attack on all voices of justice, peace and resistance in Balochistan. Let me be clear, this is not a first time Pakistan is committing crimes in Balochistan. Since 1948, when Pakistan illegally, forcefully occupied the Balochistan, from that day till now, people of Balochistan facing human rights and justices, enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killing, systematic genocide.
The rally sent a strong message to Canadian lawmakers and international observers, urging them to step beyond statements of concern and take tangible diplomatic action.
I'm here to stand beside my Baloch friends to demand the release of Mahrang Baloch.
We stand solidarity with the Balochistan people. We want all international community and everybody to put pressure on the Afghan government to release Dr. Mahrang Baloch.
The Long March in Toronto was not just a protest, it was a global conscience to act. As voices from around the world join in solidarity, the demand for justice in Balochistan grows louder and harder to ignore.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said on Tuesday he is neither overly optimistic nor pessimistic regarding nuclear talks with the United States. It was Khamenei's first comments reacting to the start of the US-Iran talks, which started on April 12 in Oman. Both delegations described the talks in Oman as positive and have agreed to convene once more on April 19, with Tehran saying the meeting will take place again in Muscat. South Korea's Finance Minister Choi Sang-mok said that Seoul will try to delay reciprocal tariffs as much as possible in negotiations with the US, as the prospect of looming duties threatens to hit the export-reliant economy. South Korea was among the countries that US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has said Washington would sit down with to discuss the tariffs imposed by US President Donald Trump. Chinese President Xi Jinping held talks with Vietnam's Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh in a bid to strengthen trade ties with the Southeast Asian nation amid ongoing tariff tensions with the US. Vietnam, the first stop of Xi's three-nation Southeast Asia trip, signed dozens of cooperation deals with China, including on production and supply chains as well as railway cooperation. In Kabla, Iraq, palm tree farms are being restored as part of a national farming plan. The Iraq-Iran war had destroyed many trees and forced farmers to leave. Now the government is planning traditional and imported palm types like Majul. Projects like Fadak Palm Farm are helping save and grow more trees. Iraq now has over 22 million palm trees, showing strong efforts to improve farming and the economy.
Students in Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan are raising their voices in protest against ongoing educational crisis. With only a month left before their board exams, many students are shocked to find that their registration forms have been rejected. Due to the lack of government colleges, they were forced to enroll in private institutions, only to face further financial hurdles. A report.
In Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan, students are protesting against a major educational crisis. Recently, students gathered outside the Gilgit Press Club to voice their anger over the cancellation of their registration forms, just 1 month before their board exams.
इनको पता था कि ये मसलियात इनके साथ है, तो उन्होंने साफ-साफ हमें डिग्री नहीं देना था. तो उन्होंने डिग्री भी दिया है, तो हम लोग कॉलेज में दाखिला, कोई सरकारी कॉलेज नहीं था, तो इसलिए प्राइवेट कॉलेज में हमें दाखिला लेना पड़ा. वहाँ पे गए तो मार्च तक जो है ना हम लोगों ने फीस हमसे वसूल की गई है, और साल के शुरू में हमें ये बताते हैं कि आप लोगों के फॉर्म कैंसिल हो गए और ये मामला जो है ना उधर चल रहे हैं. तो हम फिर भी अपना निज़ाम खुद बनाते हैं, लेकिन साल के एंड पे तकरीबन पेपरों के लिए 1 महीना रह गया है. तो वो आखिर में कह रहे हैं कि आप लोगों बोर्ड ने IBC ने रिजेक्ट किया हुआ है, तो आपकी फॉर्म जो है ना वापस रिटर्न कर दिए गए.
The issue arises from years of academic neglect. After completing their matriculation, many students who were initially guided by local high schools were denied admission to government colleges, leaving them with no choice but to enroll in private institutions.
तो ये मसला हमारे साथ दरपेश हो रहा है कि साल के आखिर में ये हमें बता रहे, तो इस वक्त हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, और हमारे पास ऑप्शन है. और दूसरी कॉलेज में हम लोगों ने बात किया कि पेपर के हवाले से, तो हम दूसरे कॉलेज में भी कोई कॉलेज डे करेंगे, तो इसलिए हम लोग उधर गए. तो वहाँ के MD से भी बात हो गई, तो वो कह रहे कि 56,000 रुपये आप हमें दे दे, फिर हम आपके फॉर्म को जो है ना रन करेंगे आगे. तो माली मुश्किलात की वजह से स्टूडेंट इतने बेरोजगार है और मामला चल रहे हैं, आपको पता है. तो इसी वजह से स्टूडेंट अरेंज भी नहीं कर सकते 56,000 रुपये. तो इसी वजह से ये मसला हमारे साथ पेश आया. इसीलिए हम ये आवाज़ जो है ना वज़ीर आला हाजी गुलबर खान साहब को और एजुकेशन सेक्रेटरी जो है और DJ दिगर हमारे डीडी है और हाई स्कूल नंबर वाले हैं, उनको हम खुसूसी ये पैगाम पहुंचाना चाहते हैं कि हमारे इस मसले को फिल फॉर हल किया जाए।
As frustration grows, students accuse private institutions of exploiting their vulnerability. They claim that instead of helping, some colleges are using the crisis to extract money, deepening the struggles of already financially burdened families.
Devotees across India marked Hanuman Jayanti, the birth anniversary of Hindu god, with immense devotion, rituals and spiritual fervour. From Ayodhya to Chhatarpur, temples witnessed massive gatherings as people came together to pray and participate in the celebrations. Here's more in this report. Devotees across India came together to celebrate Hanuman Jayanti, the birth anniversary of Lord Hanuman, one of the most revered deities in Hinduism, known for its strength, devotion and selfless service. From temples in bustling cities to quiet village shrines, the day was marked by prayers, rituals and hymns dedicated to Lord Hanuman, who remains a symbol of unwavering devotion. In Ayodhya, the sacred city in northern Uttar Pradesh and the birthplace of Lord Ram, thousands of devotees thronged temples to offer prayers and chant devotional songs in honor of Lord Hanuman. According to the Hindu epic Ramayana, Lord Hanuman played a crucial role in aiding Lord Ram in his battle against the demon king Ravan. Hanuman is worshipped not only for his divine powers but also for his undying loyalty to Lord Ram and his consort Sita.
आज हनुमान जी महोत्सव पे हमको बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत अच्छी अनुभूति हुई। दर्शन बहुत अच्छे हुए हमारे। हाँ, भीड़ बहुत थी।
The spirit of Hanuman Jayanti was equally vibrant in other parts of the country. At Sri Hanuman Mandir in Bandhurna, Madhya Pradesh, the celebrations began in the early hours of the morning with elaborate rituals and spiritual gatherings. Devotees participated in Rudra Abhishek, chanted mantras and joined the Maha-Aarti, creating a divine and electrifying atmosphere.
आज आपने देखा कि रुद्राभिषेक 2 बजे से शुरू हुआ, अभी महाआरती संपन्न हुई है। लगभग 3 लाख से 4 लाख श्रद्धालु आने का अनुमान है और हम ट्रस्ट की ओर से सभी श्रद्धालुओं को आग्रह करते हैं कि शांतिपूर्वक सुव्यवस्था और सभी कतारबद्ध होकर दर्शन करें। श्री मूर्ति का दर्शन अपने आप में हम सभी को धन्य करने वाला है।
In Madhya Pradesh's Chhatarpur district, the historic Sri Moteke Mahavir Mandir in the Bundelkhand region became a centre of devotion and festivity. Known for its ancient roots and spiritual importance, the temple attracted a sea of devotees who arrived from nearby towns and villages to take part in the celebrations.
ये बुंदेलखंड क्षेत्र का ऐतिहासिक बहुत ही प्राचीन मंदिर श्री मोटे के महावीर नाम से प्रसिद्ध है। यहाँ पर आज हनुमान जन्मोत्सव का आयोजन किया जा रहा है। इसमें बुंदेलखंड क्षेत्र के और यहाँ बिल्कुल आसपास के सब श्रद्धालु सवेरे से ही तांता लगा हुआ है। यहाँ पर हवन, पूजन, आरती, प्रसाद वितरण, बहुत भव्य प्रोग्राम मनाया जाता है जो हर वर्ष की भांति इस वर्ष भी मनाया जा रहा है।
हनुमान जी का जन्मोत्सव बहुत धूमधाम से मनाया जा रहा है। श्रद्धालु बहुत जोश है, उत्साह है और यहाँ के जो सुकून और शांति मिलती है उसका वर्णन नहीं किया जा सकता।
As chants of Jai Hanuman echoed across temples and hearts alike, Hanuman Jayanti brought together millions in a shared spirit of faith, devotion and celebration. The festival not only honored Lord Hanuman's divine legacy but also strengthened the cultural and spiritual fabric of the nation. From chants to cheers, devotion echoed nationwide in honor of Lord Hanuman. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.